The last two Hitman games have boasted some of the best systems-driven stealth on PC, and Hitman 3 tops the series off with a superb collection of levels, some of which are among the best in the entire series. This is a spiritual and mechanical continuation of the previous two games, but IO still has a few surprises up its sleeve, and one level in particular might just be the studio's masterpiece. I'm in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Berlin. Lasers and spotlights sweep across a shadowy dance floor, revealing a sea of bobbing heads hypnotized by throbbing techno music. The music is so loud and the bass so deep it makes my headphones vibrate. But I'm not here because Agent 47 has given up contract killing and joined the German rave scene. I'm here to murder a team of deadly assassins who are also trying to murder me. 10 agents from the ICA, the organization Agent 47 was once an employee of himself, are patrolling the warehouse in the scrubby industrial wasteland surrounding it. And here's the kicker, they know what I look like, even if I'm wearing a disguise. I can still change clothes to stroll past lowly security guards, but these trained killers aren't so easily fooled. If they catch sight of me, they'll open fire, which means I have to rely on those swarms of pill-popping ravers and the maze-like architecture of the building to conceal myself. Most Hitman targets are cowards hidden away in a fortress behind a wall of armed guards, which makes these guys so thrilling to go up against. It's a totally different dynamic and one of the most challenging missions in the trilogy as a result. There aren't even any mission stories in this level. The in-game hint system that usually suggests entertaining ways to kill your targets. This encourages you to experiment with the sandbox and dream up your own methods. It seems impossible at first, but the beauty of Hitman is carefully studying these big, intricate levels, making a mental map and finding holes in the security to exploit. When you do finally manage to kill 5 of these assassins, enough to send the others fleeing and finish the level, it feels incredible. Although Hitman 3 builds on the solid foundations laid by the first two parts of the trilogy, sharing the same AI, stealth systems and user interface, IO has also taken this opportunity to experiment a little with its tried and tested formula. The complex open-ended Berlin level is the most the studio has ever trusted a Hitman player to take the lead and figure things out for themselves. And in the other levels there are, surprisingly, only 3 mission stories per map compared to an average of about 10 in the previous two games' levels. The opportunities are still there, elaborate traps to set up, people to pose as, shortcuts to take, keys to swipe. They just aren't as clearly signposted this time around, forcing you to engage more with the environment around you. At its core, this is still very much a classic Hitman game, but in many ways a more playful, experimental one. One level, set in a dusty old mansion, sees Agent 47 posing as a private detective and solving a murder mystery straight out of an Agatha Christie novel. It's a gimmick, but a fun, unique spin on what is otherwise a fairly typical assassination mission. No one makes places quite like IO Interactive, and in Hitman 3 you'll find some of the developer's finest creations to date. China is another standout. It's a pretty straightforward mission compared to Berlin and the Murder Mystery Mansion, but an incredible piece of level design. On the upper levels there's rain-soaked streets buzzing with fluorescent neon signs, noodle bars, apartment blocks and winding trash-stuffed alleyways. Below, a gleaming futuristic facility run by the ICA with multiple layers of security, heavily armed guards and vent systems to slip through. This impossibly intricate, double-stacked level is one of the most impressive things IO has ever created, both in terms of atmosphere and aesthetic, and in how many interesting ways there are to navigate it. As for the other levels, Hitman 3 opens with Agent 47 taking a trip to Dubai and infiltrating a glamorous soiree at the top of its tallest building. He enters the level by parachute, crawls through a window, slips into a tuxedo and blends into the crowd, as if we needed any more proof that IO loves James Bond. But for all its glamour, it's a rather simple, reserved level, feeling more like a tutorial to ease new players in. Later, 47 travels to Mendoza, Argentina and sneaks into yet another high-class party, this time at a winery. With golden early evening sun falling over the vineyards, it's gorgeous to look at, and a mission story involving a sniper is especially devilish. It's another level that plays things relatively safe, but it's much more detailed and involved than Dubai. The sixth and final map, set among Romania's rugged Carpathian mountains, isn't a typical Hitman level at all. It's more like an action set piece designed to finish Agent 47's story in spectacular fashion. This makes it the weakest by default, even though it's crafted with the same level of care and polish that defines all of IO's levels. So, despite a couple of weaker levels, Hitman 3 is a sensational stealth game. Levels like the Rave in Berlin represent the series at its best, and it's a fine way to end the trilogy. If this was a review of the trilogy as a whole, I'd stick a couple more points on the review score. But even on its own, Hitman 3 is a magnificent video game and a perfect swan song for this iteration of Agent 47.